Hi everybody and welcome to Crazy Critters. My name is Rachel and today we are doing my fourth video in my series, Where to Get Rats From and the difference between girls and boys. And I'm going to tell you the difference between girls and boys simply so that you know which one will suit you more for what you want, whether you want a really cuddly, laid back, relaxed, chill rat, or whether you want a rat that you can train tricks and that kind of thing. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to start with the girls and their traits. So girls tend to be more active, which means they usually get into a lot more trouble. They do things you don't want them to do. Quite a bit. They get into places they shouldn't because they're quite inquisitive and interested in stimulating themselves a little bit more. So for example, my girls could climb my drawers right here, the little handles on each one, so here and here, they'll like jump up, and if a drawer is slightly opened, it will use that as a step and literally jump. Girls are also more prone to jumping quite high and quite far, so they and they're a little bit more daring too. They'll jump, say, from my bed to the chair away, just to climb up something to get to something that you've put there that they're not allowed to chew, and they'll chew it anyway. So that's the trouble that they get into. So you've just got to be aware of that. Girls are nest makers, so you need a lot of substrate or nesting material in their cage, and if they don't have enough, they will shred everything they possibly can and take it to their nest. So if there's anything in there you don't want them to, they will. They also mess their cage up quite quickly, I found. So yeah, adult girls are slightly easier to train tricks to, just because, again, they are more interested, active, and inquisitive. And they usually they have a lot of energy, like a lot of energy, whereas boys are more lazy. In my experience, they chew things they shouldn't, shred everything like paper, books, cords, shoelaces, curtains, carpet, walls, drawers, anything that they can sink their teeth into, plastic things, everything. They can chew everything. Not rocks, but they chew pretty much everything that they can get their little mouths on, or they think tastes good. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. They are hoarders, so if they're out and their cage is in the same room, if they find something they like, they'll grab it and they'll run away and hide it in their little nesting boxes. Boys still do that, but not as extreme as girls. Girls go on heat every 3 to 4 days. Sometimes it's like once a week from every 7 days, so Monday to Sunday, sorry. Yeah, so, and that lasts around 2 to 3 days. Girls also go on heat if they are around boys for up to 2 hours. They'll be on heat within the 2 hours, so watch out for that. You don't want any accidental pregnancies if you have a girl and a boy. So ways to know that they are on heat: if you or another rat tickles their back, they arch the back. So arch their back, like arch it. They have little ear vibrations, and they do a little tail waggle. Sometimes they move their tail to the side to let the male get in there, and they back up towards the male if they want it. Otherwise they'll run and they'll scamper and they'll jump and they'll be like, I'm all energetic and I don't know why. But they also do the air vibration, tail waggle, popcorn, running and scampering when they're very, very happy and excited. So when I did my rat toss and she'd come running back, her little ears would flutter and then she'd scamper, and a little tail waggle, which is like, and she didn't arch her back though, so I knew that she wasn't on heat. She was just super, super excited. The arch of the back with all the symptoms, signs, I should say, not symptoms. It's not a disease. That means that they are definitely on heat. Especially the arch of the back is the number one thing to look for after the air vibrations and all that kind of stuff happens after the back arch. So yeah, just watch for that. Females are a little bit more easy to introduce to other rats, like new rats. Boys tend to be more territorial and aggressive to other male adults. When they're younger, it's generally easier to introduce boys, and girls, well, they're pretty good to introduce others to. Even neutered males, girls tend to accept a little bit more easily, in my experience. Boys now, we're going to move to boys. Boys pee mark everywhere. They leave pee trails when they walk up my arms, all over the bed, hence why I have my sheet on the bed to stop that getting everywhere. So yeah, they are slightly more musky smelling. They have more oils on their coat and they kind of smell a little bit more. That's why they say boys are more smelly, but it's just their hormones. They have big testicles that drag around on the ground. Boys can sometimes, depending on the breeder, or how they were bred, the rat that they were bred with, they can be more aggressive with you or other cage mates. Even brothers can sometimes be a little aggressive, and I'm constantly breaking my boys up. Another example is the rats that I showed you in my previous video that aren't Socks and Sam. Shady was the brother of the two I have, and they don't get along anymore because they are in separate colonies. So they really don't like each other, especially Sam, and they just don't. My white one and the other white one, you'll have to check out my other videos. I might link it in the description below, so just check that out. Otherwise, go to my channel and check it out there. So they can be quite hard to introduce to other cage mates, but younger, it's quite hard. Unless they're neutered males, then they're not too bad. They tend to be kind of like females and more accepting of each other. Boys are more lazy and cuddly. They are cuddly if they are bonded with you, if they have bonded with you, and they get interaction every day for long periods of time. And boys tend to be more relaxed, so they generally just sleep most of the time, unless they're in their out of cage time and then they run around. But right now they're just sleeping under my bed. They are under my bed. I tried to stop that, but it didn't happen. Okay. D6 males are also easier to introduce to each other, I mentioned. And you can also, if you have one male, you can get him D6'd, and you can get females if you want to try females, and that way you can have a girl and a boy, and your boy's going to be cuddly and very cuddly. D6 males tend to be more cuddly than non-D6'd. I don't know why it is, they just tend to be more interactive with you, I've found personally. Now I'm going to talk about where to get your rats from, and it's going to be in order of what I think is the best to what, it's still okay here in New Zealand because it's not like American pet shops, but I still understand where they're coming from, saying no, don't get them from a pet shop, adopt or get from a rattery. So I'm going to say adopt or get from a rattery too, because of my experience of pet shop rats and rattery rats. So so Rat Rescue is one place that you can get, and I recently discovered that it's pretty much all over New Zealand. There's a website you can go to, and it tells you where the rat is located, and you can adopt from somebody. So it's like getting a second-hand rat almost, or an unwanted, or they can't keep them kind of rat. And most of them, or some of them I should say, are more tame that way. It also means that those rats, because they do need a home too, and so yeah, that. Also check out the SPCA. Sometimes they have rats. I know they have rabbits and guinea pigs, and obviously cats and dogs, but yeah, sometimes they have rats and birds as well. Ratteries is the next thing. I know that there is a good one in Auckland. Rat Rescue website recommended it. So just Google search ratteries in New Zealand on Google, and it should come up with, and you can also put your location and it should come up with the ones closest to you. I recommend ratteries because my 2 rats that I got from there, although one was timid, some of them do tend to be in a litter, but generally they warm up quite quickly, and once you've trust trained with them, and they tend to be less likely to be aggressive, less likely to have disease because they're selectively bred, and if done properly. Also research your rattery, go and visit it, check them out, see how they are, see how they do things, all that kind of stuff. It's really important, because you don't want a rat that's timid continuously for the rest of its life, or is aggressive. However, if you do have an aggressive rat, get them desexed. It helps a lot. Pet shop rats are... So next, we're going to go to Trade Me. Some ratteries sell through Trade Me because the websites are not have not got that much traffic, so they advertise them on Trade Me, and then you can either buy it through Trade Me or through the rattery. So yeah, that's how I went to a breeder and I checked out all her stuff to get my last rats, Dexter and Leo. You never got to meet Leo, but Dexter, he's on my Instagram, which I will put a link in the description as well. Okay, so pet stores is the last thing, and my first rat came from a pet store. He was old boy, he was about 2, and he had a respiratory disease which I was unaware of. The pet stores didn't know that he had a respiratory, so he wasn't treated for it. And yeah, my rats that I've got now, the breeder that bred them didn't selectively breed, and so he was a little bit of a biter when he got his hormones, and so yeah, I had to get him desexed. So yeah, that's my video on girls and boys and the differences and where you can get your rats from. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and yep, have a good day.